It's great to see you guys as always. Felt great to be out there with the guys. You know, there's nothing better than being out there and getting better at our craft and being together as a unit. You know, honestly, just feels really special. You know, something with this group, just the connectedness, the persistence, the discipline, all the things that, you know, make really good football teams. So we got to continue to keep stacking those days, keep building those invisible habits, and we'll be in a good spot. But we're just taking it moment to moment and trying to get better every way we can. So open it up.
Back out here for you.
Amazing. I mean, just being able to be around the guys and out on the field. Like, it's one thing to be in the meeting rooms with them, in the weight room, in the training room, but when you're actually out there watching the ball spin, seeing it caught, and calling a play and doing all those fundamentals and all that stuff, yeah, it's a lot of fun to be back out there.
How much have you done with the team since your injury? I mean, like when you're overseas, could you participate at all in practice or in the bye week? Are you able to do anything until then?
So I didn't participate at all in practice overseas. It was really just like, how can we catch up again, because, you know, going on an 8-hour flight, there's going to be some more swelling and you might be, you know, pushed back a couple days, but just be able to, you know, optimize that time as much as possible to get the swelling down and get everything figured out. But it was great to just be out there, you know, kind of on a 10-day fall camp kind of trip with the guys and be able to spend that great off the field time with them. So that's yeah, it was a lot of fun.
When it first happened, did you think it was going to be like a month or so before you were back out practicing again?
Like in the Atlanta game?
Yeah, like even the next morning. Did you think it was going to be a process that took this long?
You know, the way it felt, it's kind of uncertain. I've never felt a high ankle before. I've had low ankles, but, you know, just based off of, you know, what a lot of well-respected second opinions have said. They said it's, you know, 4 to 6, 2 to 6, all this stuff. So, you know, I feel like it was going to be in that range, and, you know, we're still in that range, and it's unfortunate, and they're really annoying injuries. But yeah, we're just continuing to work to get to 100% as quick as possible.
Whirlwind was that time, obviously, second game, coming off that Monday night, birth of your son, the injury, like how much of a whirlwind was that for you?
For sure, whirlwind. Very unique situation, a lot of firsts, and, you know, just being able to have that strong, you know, core family members and teammates and coaches that I could lean on in those moments, it was huge. And, you know, hopefully we can plan things out a little bit better next time and, you know, go for baby number 2 in the off season. So, yeah.
Describe how the ankle's doing now.
Ankle is, you know, it's getting there. I wouldn't say it's 100% right now, but, you know, we're striving every day to get there as fast as possible. So,
Do you think it's at a point where you can play?
me, selfishly, I'm going to play if it was, you know, off or not. But, you know, we got to be smart here and understand, you know, there's a lot of things that go into place. And, you know, at the end of the day, I'm just going to do what I'm told and try to get better as fast as possible. So.
Take away from last week, just the time you got to spend with Kevin and Josh kind of in that setting.
It was really awesome because, you know, it was that kind of one-on-one quarterback training type session that you don't really get at this level, and especially with someone like, you know, Coach O'Connell and Coach McCown. It was really, you know, awesome to soak all that in and just get back to, you know, the fundamentals. You know, everyone in this position and, you know, other positions and other professions, they're always working on perfecting that part of their craft, the fundamentals, the basics. So it was just awesome to, you know, get it back on the field and spin it, but get that wisdom and advice from those guys.
Anything that you've taken away watching Carson the last few weeks, things that you gleaned that maybe opened your eyes about anything?
For sure. I would say just, you know, his you could tell by his experience with the anticipation in the windows, with the quickness of when the ball's getting out of his hand, just little things that he does pre-snap that he's been, you know, kind of telling me about. We're reading certain plays, seeing different leverages from certain, you know, secondary defenders, and, you know, just the timing of everything is something that I've been really impressed with and, you know, took a lot from.
Do you think you'll be active on Sunday? Do you even know if they'll activate you, or is it not far enough down the road?
I really don't know. Yeah, at the end of the day, I don't know what I'm having for dinner tonight. So I just try to stay moment by moment, but I trust that they're going to do the best thing possible for this team and, you know, for the longevity of my career.
Is there anything that your fundamentals had
Slipped in.
just from the time that you were away from things and then got back out last week? Had they like slipped, or did you have some things you needed to tighten up? Or
It's really hard to say if they slipped just because my ankle isn't 100%. So it's like, you know, you're battling that mental hurdle. You're battling, you know, how inhibited am I to perform this certain movement. So it's really hard to say if it's slipped or not, but it's one of those things where it's just a seesaw for the rest of your career. So it's going to be fine tuning regardless of how well you perform or how well you don't. So
How are you handling that part of the confidence in the ankle and doing those movements and things when you haven't had this high sprain before?
So what Tyler has been saying in the training room, it's all about stressing these and making sure you put it in a situation where it's like, ooh, I felt that and I know I'm fine after feeling that. So it constantly, you just kind of keep pressing that bandwidth of pain tolerance and mobility of that muscle, joint, whatever it is that you're trying to heal up. So yeah.
Do you run as much now? We've talked about that part of your game, which is important, but you also got hurt doing it. So what's your thought process now as far as taking off and trying to get yards that way?
Just understanding, the situation of the game. Is it 4th and 1 where I should go run through someone? Or is it, 2nd and 15 and, I'm getting close to the sideline and get out, 3 yards earlier instead of try to get those extra 3 yards. So little decisions when I have the ball in my hand in open space to get down and, protect myself more. That's going to be something I'm definitely going to work on.
JJ, when you reflect on the first 2 games, is there anything specific that you learned in game or that you found out in game that maybe you didn't know before, back in practice or back in training camp?
When I was watching?
No, just as you reflected on the way you played the first 2 games.
Oh, the first 2 games. Yeah, I would say, it comes down to the fundamentals. There's so many instances where, whether it's a 3rd down play or, a screen on 2nd and 10, where it just comes down to us executing the little things and, all 11 being on the same page. So it's just, it's really, everyone wants a complex way of just how is this going to work, but it just comes down to the basics. So we're just really focused on that.
Outside playing in games, what's the next best way to prepare for a game? Is it practice time, throwing to receivers? Is it video study? Is it being with Coach O'Connell? What's the next best thing you can do?
I would say practice time. Just always repping those plays in live action. But for me personally, I think visualization helps a lot because it's just how unlimited it is, the reps you could do in your mind against unlimited looks. And I feel like that's been something that's helped me a lot my entire career, and it's helped a lot of other athletes in a lot of different realms of sport. And yeah, I'd say that.
Taking some of the timing stuff from Carson, how hard is that to simulate beyond just being in it, with the pass rush, with the environment? How hard is it to simulate without that kind of?
Yeah, it's extremely hard. You could sit there with your VR goggles and do it a billion times, but if you don't feel it and you don't have that, I'm going to get hit kind of, emotion arise, it makes it difficult. But at the end of the day, working in, some scout team reps and feeling that rush from our defense and really just feeling that timing of everything has been huge. So yeah, just got to be live in-game reps to get the most out of it.
Just generally speaking, where is your confidence at kind of this week and moving forward?
Confidence in terms of?
All of it, aggregate. Yeah.
Oh, always confident, through the roof. Obviously got a great team around me, got great coaches, and, full confidence in my abilities and belief in myself. But at the end of the day, it's the NFL. Sometimes you get dealt a bad hand and, you got to deal with certain situations. But, I always have a positive attitude through everything and confident I'm going to come out better on the end of it.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, guys.